you like to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Shoes get stuck in my skirt. Sorry.
Can I get a motion to seal the non-public minutes, please?
Make a motion to seal the non-public minute. Oh, good. Scott's doing it. You have the book.
All right, I'll make a motion to seal the non-public meeting minutes from tonight indefinitely, because it is determined that divulgence of this information likely would affect adversely the reputation of any person other than a member of this board.
Second.
Okay. Motion by Scott, second by Don. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Non-public meeting minutes of the 9/19 and 9/26 meeting, and the public meeting minutes of the 9/19 meeting.
I'd make a motion to approve the non-public meeting minutes of 9/19 and 9/26, and the public meeting minutes of 9/19.
Second.
Okay, motion by Les, second by Scott to approve the non-public meeting minutes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda for 10/3/24, consisting of accounts payable manifest dated 9/25/24, accounts payment manifest dated 10/1/24, payroll payment manifest dated 9/26/24, payment in lieu of taxes pilot agreement for Review Elderly Housing, SNHS, and acceptance of unanticipated funds from New Hampshire the Beautiful in the amount of $1,664.
Second.
Okay, motion by Don, second by Les. Any discussion?
What's that? New Hampshire the Beautiful.
So we had approved the purchase of the storage containers for the transfer station out of the insurance funds, but what they also did was apply for a grant through New Hampshire the Beautiful, and we were awarded the $1,600, which will offset that. So, but anything under $10,000 in unanticipated revenue has to at least go on your agenda. Anything over $10,000 has to have a public hearing. So.
Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
Oh, sorry.
Chief Laroche.
On your folders in number 5 is the first one, and Ben's here to touch base with you on the EMS contracts for Alexandria, Danbury, and Hill.
So you have the latest version of the contracts tonight, or the most current version of the contracts tonight. I have a meeting set up for Monday with the 3 fire chiefs to discuss what we discussed last week, which is, can we look at this contract year for the increase in staffing and obviously the funding that goes along with that. So it's my intention to still move forward with that, and move forward with that being our goal and aim, in the hopes that that will all work out in a short period of time. But I think just for now, based on kind of high availability in the budget season schedule, it would be good to get these approved in this form tonight, and that way there, if and when, hopefully not, we hit a roadblock with those discussions, we at least have the status quo approved, and we can move it forward to their boards and whatnot. So obviously the big one, I send the copies, but the big one's the last page, which is Appendix B, which is all the funding formula stuff. You'll notice those numbers are higher than the numbers that I gave you 2 weeks ago. And it's kind of, as we've moved the contract formula period up, you have to be careful, because otherwise you can't capture all the information. And so once we finally got all the final budget numbers, the latest insurance numbers, all that stuff, that's what it comes out to. So it was a little bit of a pickup, which means at least the subsidy payment is a small increase over last year's, which just, it was already roughly a 5% increase in the overall value. and so it just goes up that extra 1% or 1.5%. So, still good value, still increasing revenue. Those are the new numbers.
Anybody have any questions, the truth?
If you have, when you have no questions, these are the contracts, the motion to sign.
So, talk to me a little bit about moving forward with increased staffing. So, if we approve this right now, and we still move forward with that, hypothetically, let's say we all agree to do that, what is the time frame on that?
My goal is to have those discussions with the understanding that these are gonna go away, a new set of contracts will get signed by you guys, and at least going into next year, and then we'll still have warrant article stuff and appropriating the money to cover it. But that will kind of go away. The goal would be a July 1st date. So the warrant article would obviously have to fund those salaries for the 6 months. My plan is, because quite honestly, I don't think it's gonna work out if we try to charge the whole thing. And the truth is, if you charge the whole thing, it doesn't make any sense, because we don't have any way to reserve that money to be used against next year's, right? So that's one of the benefits, is we can go into this with, you know, a slow increase. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's as much kind of detail as I want to throw in right now before we have those discussions, but that's my idea, is that July 1st is absolutely the earliest that it could start, between getting it through the town meeting process and then having a couple of months to find additional people to hire. And then we would move forward successively with, that just becomes the way it looks.
So the effective dates of this contract are July 1st of 2025 to June 30th, 2026.
Yeah.
So, what is the legality of this contract being signed and then done away with?
I'm not gonna present this contract to them until after those discussions.
Okay,
This is just, we're taking care of this on our end, it's ready to go.
Gotcha.
We're not gonna see this until either, you know, probably, hopefully, ever, right? Because we'll get through that process. There's a clear understanding of why this is the next phase, and it'll just be, these will go into a file, or quite honestly be shredded, but in a file on the computer, so we have them. And then it'll just be a new contract that looks very similar to this. It'll change some of the requirements, right? Instead of on staff, maybe it's 2, and so on and so forth. But other than that, it'll add the new funding formula to split those costs amongst those 3 towns. That'll be the only
Yeah,
difference.
so these are just going in your back pocket
Yeah.
until you negotiate. Okay.
Yeah.
That answers all my questions.
don't take it the wrong way, but what's the point of us even signing off on this and approving them right now?
You cannot approve them. It's probably a good idea to understand between your guys' schedule and my schedule
Yep.
that I won't be here when the time comes that they get put in front of you to sign off on. You know what I mean? Like,
Your guys'
between vacation and the whole 9 yards. It's
Gotcha,
just-
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not saying I have an issue with it, I'm just.
Yeah, yeah. And I get what you're saying. You can. I just understand that I probably won't be here,
Can
just
I-
based on the schedule.
Can I clarify, so we have to do these now, and they're for next year, but if we don't do it, we don't have a contract, is what,
Right.
okay.
But we
If
can
we
wait
don't do
until,
these
you can
now,
wait till your second
and-
meeting in November, or the
Right.
first week in November, or whatever. It doesn't make a huge difference. It's just to get ahead of things.
So-
and-
I mean, that would be up to
Right,
you.
we want the contract before we move forward with the budget.
Mhm.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Somebody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the contracts with the town of Hill, Danbury, and Alexandria for emergency medical service agreement.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Don, second by Scott to approve the EMS contracts with the towns of Hill, Alexandria, and Danbury. Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, Central Square.
So there's a typo, sorry. It was supposed to be 16-18 Central Square. If you look at number 6, there's a memo and letter in there from Ben.
Yeah, so just the highlight is obviously the last update was a correction notice was issued. I have had no communication with the property owner since then. Well, and even quite honestly, like a week before that. So basically a new notice of violation was issued, giving 2 weeks to respond to that original correction, and then otherwise I'm going to move it to you folks with a recommendation to pursue 155B. That 2 weeks is the 14th of October. My hope is that week we'll see how, what happens, what communication I have with them. If that's still nothing's happened, is at some point that week to be able to work with Christina to start working with council. There's a lot of different RSAs that as the fire chief I can utilize to keep people out of buildings or whatever. 155B is a it's a governing body thing, and everybody that I've reached out to doesn't have a template on it. And I think given the situation, given the immense scope that we could potentially be getting into, if you approve that, it will be best to have at least the paperwork drawn up by council, and because it's all court filed and the whole 9 yards, and I'd rather, without anything in my files to help me along with that, it's going to make a ton of sense to create those templates and then make sure that they're right and everything's done correctly, because it's a big deal.
So we'd be looking at condemning the building, basically.
Well, you'd condemn it, but under 155B, you're basically ordering it to be raised or repaired, with kind of the caveat that if the property owner doesn't do that, the board's going to take a vote at some point to raise or repair the building. That's going to be,
We would leave the property for the cost.
yeah, and
of
then
that.
you lean the property, for the cost of that. But I mean, obviously, this building in particular is kind of important to the square and how it looks, but it's also, the issues that it has and the potential issues that it could cause are important generally for the downtown. So it's unfortunate, but it's definitely one that, either hopefully the property owner continues to move forward on it. Like I said, over the last month, there's been no movement whatsoever on it, so.
Okay.
That's it.
Appreciate you coming in.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ben.
Have a good one.
Mr. Harris, did I say that correctly?
Yes.
Come on up.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
You too.
So first, I'd like to apologize for the last meeting.
I felt like I walked in on something.
I was like, no, I told him the wrong time. So, we've been working to have Mr. Harris come in.
You can call me
I know.
Paul.
I can call him Mr. Harris since my kids were in school. But we've been working to have him come in, so he is the new superintendent. So we wanted-
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We wanted to have him come in and
Congratulations.
Thank you.
have a conversation with the board, so.
Great. So thanks for the introduction. For those that don't know me, Paul Horries. I've lived in the Lakes region for 19 years and have spent 17 years of those working for Newfoundland. I started in the district as a teacher and have held every position. I don't know if it would be considering moving up, but definitely from department head to assistant principal, and now as of July 1st, superintendent. I live in Laconia, so that's where I lay my head every night, but I can honestly say Newfoundland's my community. My ties are here, my relationships are here, and superintendent wasn't my dream when I set out and started in education. when you usually start in a career, you think about, the root reason is you care about our future, you care about our kids and what they're learning, and, but I think I came to care so much about this district that I felt when the opening was here, that somebody who cared about the district needed to apply for the role. So it's not easy right now. If you listen to the news or read the paper, we're in going through some challenging times, as we have a Bridgewater Hebron Village School will be leaving us at the end of the year, so we're in a restructuring process. Anytime you restructure, it also offers you opportunity. So we did reach a tuition agreement with a new Pasquaney school district. So the voters will be voting on that in both districts in March. But we're still newfound, and just like we welcomed Hill as a community partner, we hope to do the same with Pasquaney. It's good business and it's good community. So
How does that contract compare to the one that they were offered with Plymouth?
Plymouth, they haven't finished their offer yet, is my understanding. That Plymouth's still working on theirs.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But what's typical is that there is a base contract, so that if for example, if ours comes in lower than Plymouth's tuition, I'm not saying Pasquaney has said they're going to do this, but we've seen in other districts across the state who do this, like Hill sends to us 100% exclusive, so there is no base contract. But oftentimes, the district that has the lower tuition rate, the sending district may often charge the parents the premium difference between the two tuitions. Now, Pasquaney hasn't come out and said that, it's just typically what I've seen in other situations.
So if Plymouth is higher, they'll charge, how's it gonna work?
They could charge the parents the difference. I'm not saying they will, but when I've seen other situations, like meaning they could tell the parents, we'll pay for you to go to Newfound if you want to go to Plymouth. Plymouth is $4,000 more a year, for example.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now, again, Pasquaney hasn't said that's what they're going to do, but since you asked about contracts,
So I guess knowing a lot of parents from the other districts,
Yeah.
what I'm hearing is, what are we gonna do? Which it sounds like they're gonna have an option. Is that definitely the case? Or could they end up in a position like Hill is, where this is the district you go to, and that's it? There's no choice between Bristol.
I believe it's in their legislation, they have to offer choice.
Yeah.
The way they had the bill written is they have to offer choice.
Interesting.
Yeah. This is new. This is the first time a withdrawal has ever been done through this type of legislation, so.
Yeah. Any questions for Mr. Reese?
Just glad you're there.
Thanks. I'm glad to be there.
So you came from the high school?
I did. I was principal there for 9 years,
Gotcha.
assistant principal there for 4 years before that, and then I started in the district teaching at the middle school. So.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Christine?
Voting?
No, no, I wasn't gonna ask that.
Okay.
I was just, are the delays in the tax rate, is that going to be because of the new help, or?
Twofold is one, still recovering from the cyber attack.
Yeah.
I feel like there may have been a stun factor, and I can't speak for the people who before me, when the cyber attack happened, because it's new territory for people. Like, what do we fix first? Where do we go? Where do we get guidance? I feel like since July 1st, and then with Angela, our new business administrator, coming aboard, that it went from the stun factor to the do factor. Let's do this. Like, we have to meet deadlines. I will tell you, we did just file with the state for another 30-day extension to October 30th. Yeah. So
that means we can't set the tax rate.
So we won't be setting the tax rate probably until maybe November. So.
but
Don't shoot the messenger.
Tax collector. I
I had to
know. I'm not gonna pass the buck and say I just inherited the job, but if you need to get mad, you can get mad. And you can keep bugging us.
Well, I told one person one year when they were a little slow, they could come sit with me on New Year's Eve. That's how I spent 3 or 4 New Year's Eves putting taxes in.
I hadn't told Rayma before this meeting, and I'm like, oh crap. So I pulled her and said, okay, I just need you to know.
With that delay, is there a possibility of working with us with payments because of our cash flow?
Kathleen
I talked to
had talked to
Kathleen.
me. Yeah.
We talked to Kathleen about either cutting them in half or delaying, because
Yeah.
we aren't going to have any money being collected, but.
She's gonna check our cash flow and
Yeah.
she thinks it's something that's doable and she has recommended it to me.
Oh, good.
You know,
So one of the questions I have, I'm gonna kind of throw this out there, is maybe future conversation. We have an issue in this town with places to vote. And one of the things that has been thrown around in the past is there something we can work out with the schools, particularly with larger elections? I know the presidential election is coming up in less than 35 days, so we're probably a little behind the 8 ball on that one. But is that something that we could work with the district on going forward? You know, I know you guys do a lot of teachers' workshop days, and is it something that we could get ahead, you know, in scheduling wise, and maybe aim to have those workshop days on days that we might be able to use some, say, the middle school or the high school gymnasium or whatever as a voting area?
absolutely, and here's one reason why is in the past few years we are sending catchment area where we would send our CTE kids to Plymouth. We changed that relationship and we've now been sending them to Laconia, just a wider variety of offering for our kids. And under RSA, the sending schools by law have to be within a certain number of days in alignment with their calendar. And I'll tell you, one of the 3 days that knocks us off is they close the schools for elections and we don't. So actually it would actually help us align even better with them. So, and I can't see why we wouldn't do that again, because in the month, during, we have PD days for teachers, and why not align it in that way? So.
Yeah. I'm assuming it would be too late this year.
This year, yes, I would think so. I mean, the parents have a calendar, the teachers have a calendar, teachers have a contract, but what we usually bring the calendar to the board for approval around January, so it's probably something we should talk about soon. All the sending schools in Laconia, we just met last week, and we're probably going to meet sometime either this month or early November to set a calendar as a CTE group, and then I have to give the calendar to the union and the board. So we probably want to be talking to then if that's something we want to look at.
The next major thing we'd be looking at would be town meeting, which would be second Tuesday of March.
Second Tuesday of March.
Yeah.
So we'd probably want to be looking for next year's
Yeah,
calendar.
that's
It would have to be in the.
Yeah.
Late 25, 26.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
unless
I-
that happened to fall in.
Yeah, I can check. We do have
I doubt it.
we have a PD day in March.
Town meeting or town voting?
But I
That-
could,
Well,
Voting.
they call it both,
but
but
I could work with
Part one of town meeting.
He's checking to
on the
see.
dates way ahead of time, because I know what the voting dates are, so.
Yeah, next year is only one election, but the year after,
The year after, they'll probably two.
two.
What's your day? Voting day, March 11th?
Yeah, it's all
Voting
right.
would be the second Tuesday.
Yeah, that is not our PD day in March,
Yeah.
so unfortunately.
We'll get through it another year.
That's good though.
But I think, I've always wondered myself why the voting isn't at the schools like so many other towns. Like in Laconia, my wife and I voted the middle school, and I know that's our ward over there, but
And they shut the schools down.
they shut the schools down. I see teachers in there, so the teachers must be doing exactly what you said, dedicate that to a PD day,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
so.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, we look forward to working with you in the future. It's
Good, me too.
yeah, good to have a friendly face that we know,
Yeah,
so.
exactly.
Anybody else have any questions? Yeah. Excellent. Do you have any questions for us?
I don't, not at this time, but thanks. I'm glad to, be in this capacity working with all of you. So, and don't be shy. Keep pushing us. We're going to work hard. And we're going to get there.
I called Kathleen and begged her Friday.
No, I appreciate you coming in. It's good to have an open line of communication between both of us and or all of us. And, yeah, look forward to having a good relationship with you in the future.
Good. Thanks. Thanks for having me.
See you tomorrow night.
All right.
Take care.
Yeah, I know. I will be there.
Is that homecoming?
Unified and then.
It's homecoming soccer tonight.
Homecoming's this weekend, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hayden's whole team's getting bused over tomorrow from school to go over and watch the high school game.
I emailed you a heads up. Did you for the next item, I emailed you ahead.
Oh, yeah,
Okay, just check it.
yeah. Do you have a copy?
I can give you mine.
Yeah.
It's in the computer, but
Oh, it's in here. That's fine.
you can look at the paper if you want it.
Do you want to do that right away, or do you want to move Randy?
Two great hours. This can wait.
Thank you.
I'll
So
wait
we'll-
for that too.
We'll move election closeout up, so you're not hanging around for
No, I
CIP.
should put that first, sorry.
So I'm up now?
You're up now.
You are.
In your folders, under number 9, is just basic bullets of election closeout, things that I threw myself under the bus for, things that went well. There might be some notes missing there, but I didn't know if we wanted to attack them one at a time, so so you can decide what you would like to see different, on my part, and then where we go from November. So that's my readings here.
Okay.
I didn't give you want a copy of this reading, so you can take a look at it. Sorry, that's what I typed up in the. Thank you.
Get to the allergies.
Yeah.
Had it for a week.
On the way down from a cold. So.
Somebody parked in the middle of the driveway leaving the church, so you couldn't drive up it.
Oh, really?
Is that me?
It was wrong.
Well,
Oh, you on the far side?
Yeah.
You actually would drive up that?
Yeah.
Yeah, why
Oh,
not?
all right.
No, you can
I'm
park
not,
there.
I'm not,
What are you, sissy with that?
What's that?
What are you, sissy with that truck? You afraid of
I'll park.
I'm
Down
not
by
parking
Kelly
there,
Park.
but
You were fine, I just wanted to give you. an
because
idea.
I opened my car
Yes, that's
door
fine.
and it slipped from my hand and hit the car next to me. I checked the car next to me,
Someone's gonna drive.
no damage, because of my car.
And I'm like, oh, I guess I'll just back up.
So, the one thing that I had noticed was, it didn't seem like when we first started that we had police coverage. And
That's being addressed.
that is an issue.
Mhm.
And that's being addressed.
I think we're gonna still use the notification by the police department, the big sign, and we're still gonna put no parking signs, some of the road up there. But we
I think what
are,
Ray was talking about was more of a presence
Yes.
than a.
yeah.
Yeah, because I think, they need to help people cross the road. That's a huge
They're
issue.
not being allowed to park in part of the side.
So there was some confusion on the last election. Not only confusion, but some issues with scheduling with the department, and also some calls going on earlier in the day that created an issue with coverage at the town office. So that will not happen in the next election. You have
That's
at
good.
least my word on that. Anybody else?
Let me see if I can. I think the only thing that is, I just need to know if all 5 of you are gonna be there.
This time I will be the old man.
Yes, no?
Well,
Yeah, yes, I'm on vacation that week. Yay.
When is it?
No, it's the week before. No, sorry. Oh, I get to.
When is it?
It's
November 5th,
I'm
right?
on vacation
Yeah.
the week after.
November 5th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
first Tuesday after the first Monday.
I will be there.
Yep.
I will not be there the next Tuesday. I will be in Punta Cana, and I may not come back.
Well, all right, but as long as you're there November 5th, and you're gonna be there,
I can confirm with Carol for you.
okay. Um, I think food is probably the one thing we need to discuss on how we're gonna do that for this election. Rosemary Darcy has volunteered to call all the ballot clerks and supervisors and to see if she could get people to volunteer to make some food and bring it so that we can all share it, which is very nice of her to do.
For lunch or just like throughout the day?
I'm sorry?
For lunch and throughout the day type thing, or?
Yeah, just like
That is
Barbara used to.
Yeah.
She,
It could be a long night, I think.
yes, because we sent out almost, I think we sent out 82 absentee ballots yesterday,
Just yesterday.
just yesterday. They came in yesterday and Cheryl and I just worked on them as much as we could all day, but of course the interruptions you get, but, so they went out and then, you know, today we've already had probably 5 more people come in, so. So there's gonna be a lot of absentee ballots, so it's gonna take a lot longer than normal.
Do you want to do potluck?
That's what Rosemary said, she would call around and see if she could get everybody to do that. And, you know, then, for breakfast, or, I think, you know, we'd probably still have to do coffee and donut holes or muffins or something.
But you can't be paying for it, so
I'm sorry,
you shouldn't be paying for it.
have for
Did you
years.
get reimbursed from the last one? Didn't we talk about that?
Did you submit
So, no, I never have, so,
it to her?
Do you have your receipt still?
sorry.
Do you have the receipt still? Just give it to me.
And the same with Ned?
Same with Ned. I did talk to the
So we
Bristol.
don't wanna do like pizzas for dinner or something?
We had too much last time.
Yeah, I think if you do pizzas, how many did you do last
We
time?
did 6.
Yeah, I think you need to do like 4.
Yeah,
The
I
most.
say that. I usually get.
Yeah.
We cover that.
Well, we are grazing all day long, so.
Yes, that's
I
right.
would say, you know, we could, you know, pick up dinner or something at least and just let do the potluck thing for lunch if people wanna bring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can order again.
Okay, so, and I will
Last
tell,
time, but you will.
There weren't any
Because I
in this
haven't
batch.
looked at 'em.
I know, I was pretty disappointed.
so I will tell Rosemary that we would love to have her call around and see if,
You'll order it.
because she said she'd try to get a list together on who would bring what, so
That's great.
that's good.
Dawn will pick up.
Need to know, I talked about the police, the food. And you guys gonna do pizza at night still?
Yeah, we'll have.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay,
Oh, the fire department was very
I'm not happy with you.
thankful and
Yeah.
received. No, when I dropped off
I
the
know.
pizzas that night, they were.
I know, and she wanted
I
some.
came by the next day, where's the pizza? I gave it to the fire department, like,
It always says state here, Scott.
it's
That's
okay
why.
though.
Oh, someone told me to bring it to the fire department.
I'm sure.
I don't think the 3 boxes would fit in the fridge.
No, well, we have a fridge upstairs.
Seems like I don't think it would fit in the fridge.
We have a full-size fridge. But it's okay. I forgave you.
Till next time.
Are you good with your setup up there?
I'm going to have 2 more people on as ballot clerks, so we're gonna have 4 tables somehow across.
Split the alphabet.
I'm sorry?
Split the alphabet into 4 instead of 3.
Yeah, because we're gonna have a lot of people, so I'm gonna split it into 4. So when highway sets up, hopefully Cheryl will be here and I'll be here and I can go up and show them.
At least it's only one ballot this time,
Can you check what
Right.
you think?
But well, 1,600 and more people.
Right.
Right.
Cool.
Because there is a lot of people, there have been, the supervisors are gonna work on Sunday because they just can't get all the people that have come in just to our office to try to get, to be on the checklist, so they're gonna work on Sunday to get that done. I don't know, I think that's it for me on yes.
Just the shuttle,
So
I'll bring it up, the shuttle.
we will have knock on wood, we will have the town car. It is being, they're taking the police department logo off right now and putting just the regular town seal for us. When they took, it's gonna be a black car, but not black and white anymore. It was easier to take the whole white the white
I was
wrap.
gonna ask, that needs to be done. Yeah.
So we were gonna leave it black and white, but it ended up working out. It was it's very easy for her to get the wrap off, she said. So it's gonna be a black car with this town seal on it, on both doors. The only thing we're still working on is just the registration, but we will have that done before
That's what I was just gonna ask, 'cause
November.
who has the old registration of that?
Christian.
Is it the police?
But we don't have the car right now, so if it's in the car by chance, it's with the people doing
Well, I
it.
usually have all the copies, I just need to know
Which
which
one?
registration it is, so we can start registering it, because even if it's not in town, we can get it registered and have it ready for when it's here.
The only thing we won't have, we're supposed to cover the light bar. I will try to see if I can find something on Amazon to cover the light bar, because
Not taking it off?
no, partly because we can use it for detail. If we need to, they're gonna do a disconnect on the lights instead of having.
You
they
should be
wouldn't have
able to
to
get the
take it out.
model number of the light bar and Google it,
Yeah.
and they do make covers for it.
And I'll get a cover for it. So Chris and I talked about that today, and then I will try to get the registration information.
Yep. Because we can then start it and have it
You
ready.
can program the color in it.
No.
But it's not blue, so it's not, as long as it's not on.
Right.
Yeah, no, they're
I
gonna.
wouldn't worry about
So
it.
they're gonna do a disconnect, anyway for the lights, but if something should happen and they got turned on, they would be covered. They're
It's
supposed to
still
cover them.
the same.
I won't make it a hot pink cover.
Teal green, the color of the town seal,
Oh, there you go.
with a pinstripe.
I was just gonna do black.
All right, back on track. Thank you, Raymond.
Well,
So yes, that's, the plan right now is to have that vehicle. I will have shut the signs out and I will have it advertised on time.
You have your little handle too, the red handle?
Yep, it's
You
upstairs.
found it? Okay.
it did.
Are we discussing beach tonight or no?
No.
Okay,
They-
I thought
they
we
had
were,
me
that's
move
why I
it.
was still sitting here.
Sorry.
Just get out of here now, Ray.
Yeah.
Sorry, Rick, they had me move it to November.
That's fine. Okay.
Okay.
Do you want this, Ray?
Thank you, Raymond.
Yes, please. And I don't have to print another one.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
CIP,
CIP, my friend?
all right. There it is. There's your CIP. Just do what it says and everybody will be happy.
I just got that simple, Don.
Yeah, I know. I tried.
He'll be happy.
I tried. All right. The CIP committee did do some further adjustments on, because of prices going up. We hashed it out in a couple of meetings. We want to shorter than normal schedule, but you have the,
Outstanding, it's not going
Yeah.
out.
you have the suggested 2025 spending list. Sorry, column on the spending. We'll just go through the sections. We've got 73,000 for a cruiser. The chief expects it to be up quite a bit. You'll see only 65 going into the fund, because if you look at the offsetting revenues, which are down at the bottom for that, there will be some left over. There'll be some left over from this year, since we didn't spend it out. And also to pull $3,000 out of, there should be about $3,000 we can pull out of the detail fund. We, remember we decreased the amount going to the general fund for that detail fund, so that now we're actually building money up again. So that's why the difference in those numbers. 8,000 for the radar units. There's an offsetting grant that the chief has for that, or expects to get for that. The highway is, pardon me, I'm getting over a cold here too, is up to 160 for this year, and then following years it goes up as well. The 550 truck is due for replacement this year, or one of them. And talking to Mark, Vic, we may want to talk to Victor to see what his thoughts are.
We just received one.
Yeah.
We
That
just
was
got,
from 2 years ago.
yeah, we got, 2 years ago is we just received one of the 550s. Yeah. Everything's coming late on this.
So the 2017 just got,
Hmm?
well, the 20,
No, the
Oh, I see what you're saying.
yeah, truck one was the one that was replaced. We paid for it in '23, we didn't get it until just recently.
So it's a 24.
Yeah, so it's a 24.
Yeah.
That's why that's updated to being a 24, not a 23. The 2017 has been in a couple of wrecks, and Mark said it will make it another plow season, but probably not much more than that. So that's that scheduled replacement. I know that we'd already talked on the budget about paving. We put in the 350 that we had talked with Mark about on that
what's that, 350?
for paving.
They,
Oh, I thought you were talking about the F-350. I'm like, well, what?
Yeah, sorry, no, paving at
it
350.
got really expensive.
Gotcha.
Equipment reserved for the fire department is up quite a bit, because there's a lot of catch-up to make up on that. Even though we're a few years out on a large purchase, but to build the cash up for that purchase, and even the 900 is probably a question mark right now. Who knows 5 years out how much that stuff's gonna cost.
So that 84,000 under fire department, that's for
The 84 is for the
SCBA?
SCBA packs. That's to replace ones that had been bought under a grant. And they're all, the unfortunate thing about buying
I don't even wanna know
all
what
of them
those
at once
cost.
is then you know, down the road, you're always buying them all of them at once.
Right.
So I didn't know if there was a way that we could possibly figure out how to,
Do you know how many that would be replacing at 84,000?
I forget how many he
I'm
said.
assuming 16.
I think it's 16.
Yeah, is that the number that they have, 60?
No, it's more than that, but I'm just guessing they're $5,000 a piece in that ballpark.
Okay.
I think when they talked about it, I think it was 16, but
Yeah. Whether or not bottles have to be replaced, I can't remember what the lifespan on those bottles are now.
Yeah. The compressor was also up this year, but it's doing okay. Chief said
So
that.
that push that off to next year?
Yeah, and possibly, if it continues to be good, we can push it out further if needed.
So are we gonna get any? Yeah, all right, never mind.
What's that?
No, don't.
Yeah, building maintenance fund, we talked, seems, we're gonna be spending it down to about 50, which is the level that we talked about keeping it funded at, so there's no need to put anything in that right now. And just timing wise with parks, we were off and we didn't wanna just put numbers in without knowing, so we'll get to that earlier with them, get numbers for next year, moving out for the park improvements.
Well, we've changed that in the budget,
yeah.
so
Yeah.
it no longer says master plan or capital improvements, it's projects.
But,
Yes.
well, that covers
projects.
Kelly Park, but overall, the parks,
We should start adding something in here too.
because there's
For
gonna,
when something
that's
happens.
something to think about at some point, because you have a lot of parks now. You have River
Yeah.
Falls,
Right, yeah.
and the maintenance for those isn't budgeted anywhere,
Well, this would be,
except for
maintenance
general
wouldn't,
government
yeah.
has a little bit.
maintenance wouldn't fall under the
No,
CIP.
no.
though.
But it would
This would
be,
just be for improvements, which, mainly improvements, Kelly Park's
Right.
the one with major improvements planned.
the only other one we've ever talked about is,
Mill Street.
yep, Mill Stream, because that needs some redesign work done to it eventually, but that's not right now, but.
Yeah.
Well, we gotta start
we
getting
get it
permits
planned.
right now.
Wait, I hear you, sorry.
I said probably ought to start applying for the permits now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe there should be, instead of just putting like the pest end and, not pest end, lawn care and into general government lines, there should be a parks maintenance line in the general government budget. Because we
Yeah.
don't have anything, we're all looking at mixed in, so.
Right.
Makes sense. Therefore, that's
May
a
not be
regular,
this
that's a
year.
regular item.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make
Yeah,
it
because-
Kelly Park, the parks.
We buy the Dodger Pot stuff, it gets booked to general government lines,
Yeah.
we treat the lawns, all of that, so we got off subject from CIP, but I'll put it in my future.
Yes. Right.
More budget lines, wonderful.
Yeah.
We get rid of some.
Do we have one for beach maintenance?
Sorry,
Do we have one for beach maintenance?
there's nothing in the CIP for beach, not for
Beach
maintenance,
improvements.
but for improvements, no, so.
I noticed something that I missed. It-
I guess, could you call, sorry, Don,
Yeah,
could
go
you
ahead.
call beach could it be part of your parks technically, because
Parks and beaches.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that would be where you would put your improvements together for your beaches and your parks.
Yeah. Or just two separate lines, one for the beach stuff that we planned and one for the park stuff.
One for
we
the
planned.
parks, yeah.
Probably.
I think that.
So does the CIP meet with each department head?
Typically, yeah.
Yeah.
This year, we were sort of shortened and we just did it by email and confirmed the numbers.
So was there any discussion of the replacement of engine two?
Actually, Ben did say something that it's probably gonna be sooner than what's scheduled.
Yeah, it should have been probably replaced already, but.
Yeah, it's scheduled out at 2031.
Yeah, and then, but on the flip side of that, the ladder truck is scheduled for 2034, which I would think you could get 5 more years out of that truck, because it doesn't, then, you know, so that there's some give and take there if
Right.
necessary.
Yep. Yeah, I think next year, probably have them come in and do.
Because
more
those, and I bring this up
Talk
every
to
year,
them.
those numbers are not accurate, or those numbers or replacement numbers are not what they should be.
No, probably not.
They're low.
Yeah.
And neither are, well, I thought the ambulances were, they should have been on 10-year. They were on 10-year, and then Unuzi let that slide and it went to 12. And the reality is those should be on a 10-year rotation as well.
Well,
Well, it ends up being 12 because it takes 2 years to get one.
You gotta order it 2 years sooner.
Yeah.
So it should be 8?
Yeah.
Well, no, it should be, so, I mean, it
You
should
should
be.
plan it for,
Because
plan it for.
I mean, we've had this ambulance on order since last year, we're not getting it till next year.
It's been on order for 2
2
years.
2 years, yes.
Yeah.
All right.
That's right.
But that's why you need to, like, that's why they need to be talking about ordering that engine pretty much now.
Now, because you aren't going to get it for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
But when you order it, do you have to pay for it, or do you have to put a deposit
I'm
down?
not sure
'Cause
how that works.
we have to clarify that now too, because you want to know that for, if you're gonna order it now for replacement in 2 or 3 years, you're gonna deplete your fund. Sorry, we keep interrupting.
Yep, yep, that's fine.
you,
All right, anything else on CIP?
One thing I noticed, I didn't put the, somehow the lines for, under debt service, we did put in for the, that's for Central Street. It just says blank right now, but that'll be the.
Oh, these two here, yep.
Yeah, I'll have to fill that in for the final. That's for the Central Street.
They'll change to.
Project.
Well, the principal and interest, 76 and 77?
You
Yeah,
mean the pump main and
the
the
pump
sump
station.
and the pump and the force main, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's gonna, those will change too, but.
Don, the two things you didn't mention just for
Go ahead.
future is,
yep,
we talked about the fact that you guys have decided to split roads and, transfer, and we just have one section now. So
Yeah.
next year, we're probably gonna add a
Add-
section,
yep.
each department will have their own, and.
Under CIP, yeah.
Into CIP, and the other thing is Christina's asked us to look into putting in basically a technology or information. I mean, eventually, we're usually gonna buy computers and things like that. She's asking us to think about
Makes
planning
sense.
ahead for that also.
so everything's more wireless.
Well, I was gonna say, we just spent $60,000 this year on a network overhaul,
yeah,
so.
No, I agree, it's,
yeah, that should be captured. Yeah, so there'll be a couple extra lines, thank you.
so that being said, with more things going, electronic and stuff and such, do we need to get a separate insurance coverage to protect us against, because they do it with
We
cars
are.
now,
We are insured for cyber with
Okay.
Primex.
right, for a cyber attack, but what if the server dies?
But what if all our electronic equipment burns up if the building goes?
Well, the-
Or just, yeah, lightning strike
We,
or.
we are talking right now about a hybrid approach. For our server has to be replaced and we can't do it completely. So they're talking about starting to move some of it to the cloud, as a hybrid approach. I don't have all the information yet on that. I'm waiting for a quote.
Okay. Anything else on CIP?
Very last thing is, the goal is to keep the tax rate level, so down at, it's like line 103, you'll see that this year the projected is about 224, the mill rate, $2.24, so the tax rate will be for capital projects, and then 225, 224, and then it works its way up as inflation, of course.
Well,
So what's the bottom number?
so you've already
What's
adjusted
that?
that sort of.
The 564?
This is the valuation of the
Yeah.
town right now. That's not updated yet. There's a new number this year, though.
Yeah.
But
There again, we're doing things ahead of time, so we just have to project.
this number is what he's talking about.
Right.
So what's the number we want to put on the warrant that we're asking for? 351.
Oh, no, you're not
No,
asking,
no,
none
that
of this is
doesn't-
not, you're not asking for
that
this.
doesn't
We're
go.
just talking about plan.
That's revolving fund, right? Sorry.
But you've already changed it because you, unless the budget committee puts it back, but the 350, you've knocked down to 300.
Right.
And if the budget, unless the budget committee puts it back, but if they don't, you've already changed it, so that should drop a little bit on
Yeah.
that tax rate.
Yeah,
So,
and this is advisory. so-
right.
Yep, okay. All right, moving on. TA report, the brief TA report.
I have a couple items after them, but I didn't do a ton, and I do still need a non-public. So I've split them up again like we talked about before. Items for discussion, employee appreciation, October. We have assessing and land use, Joanne Bailey is celebrating her 2nd year with us. Fire department, we have Aaron Heath, 16, and he's the deputy, for those who don't know, public. 16 years with the fire department. Highway department, Jonathan Southland is 8 years. The Minot Sleeper Library, actually Patty celebrated her 1st year with us. And police department, Tim Woodward's been with the police department for 19 years, so. Under the highway department, I do want to give a kudos out to them. They've completed the removal of the old ice rink panels from the pipe yard on Danforth Brook Road, and they're beginning working with water, sewer, and fire to empty the, it's supposed to say hose house, not host house. And they'll let me know once that's complete. And then there's a couple items you're welcome to look at, items for information only. There's land use data, department data through September in that folder. And then there's your Department of Energy newsletters in that folder. After the meeting,
Oh, that's cool. Volunteers.
oh, so, yeah, so I was, put that in there to, I thought it was very, actually, Scott had sent it to me and I kept forgetting to mention it, but, so I put it in the folder to remind me tonight. Under the, after the items added after select board, I screenshotted it. Newfoundland Region Association actually gathered a group of volunteers. They worked on the swale at Cummings Beach. And took out some of the invasive species that were there. They did a great job. Our highway department left a vehicle there for them to fill the back of it up. They are coming back again on October 10th and doing another volunteer day there from 10 to 12. They have asked me, and I reached out to Victor, let me see what he said, because I can't remember. They have, they're saying that it's time to do some more maintenance to the swale, and before we did anything, I wanted to talk to Victor on the board. I feel there's a lot of mucky soil impacting how the swale is draining. So they would help do the wetlands permit by notification, and then would like to know if it would be okay for us to use a piece of equipment to help muck out that. I don't have a response, so from Victor yet, but that's how, we've done it that way in the past, but,
I think needs to be more, well, it's not necessarily on us either, but
right.
we can do all that we want, but we're wasting our time if we don't fix the curbing and the drainage at the roadway where the water's just spilling down over the bank, over the curb, because the curb's only like this tall now. So any heavy rain, the water's just spilling over with erosion. So it's, yeah, it looks nice and pretty, but is it really having the full effect that it needs to or could?
So the swale isn't actually working at all according to them, because it's not draining the way it should be because of that soil that's in there. So you are right, that soil's probably running right down into the swale, and it'll just keep filling up,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
So it's a twofold issue?
yeah.
It's the DOT at that point. Well, especially now that they repaved, they just raised the roadway.
It's probably a 50-year plan.
get it done right after the sidewalk.
Yeah, I thought part of the agreement when we first put that in with NHLRA was that they would take care of keeping it cleaned out every year, but that's
So-
sort of gone by the wayside. They let it build up to being obnoxious and then all of a sudden come in and clean it.
I think, partly I'm not defending them, but part of it is they've also changed leadership.
Oh, yeah, I know.
And,
Stuff gets lost when that happens.
Yeah, and so they have hosted one cleanup day, they're hosting the second one, but they were asking if we could put the equipment in to dig that out, and
Yeah.
whether or not we could do that or not. But
So you wait to hear from Victor.
I hadn't heard back from Victor, I can follow up with him on Monday.
It's funny you say that, because I drove by the other day and I thought, wow, that looks really nice.
Yeah.
And is it different, or have I just not driven by there in a while?
No, they did extensive, they took out they called it yellow flag, they said it's an invasive species that somehow got in there, and they took that all out. And then they're going back in to do some more work.
I mean, it's a benefit to us and to them
Yes.
to have the work done.
So depending on Victor's thoughts for this, are you okay with, obviously it is the town property, but are you okay with us going in with the piece of equipment and cleaning that out and then talking to DOT about the curbing?
Thank you.
I think if Victor is in agreement with letting, it's a few hours that someone's gonna have to be down there operating. And then they're gonna need a truck also, so.
Yeah, it's a benefit to us, so I don't have an issue with it.
Yeah, if he can work it in the schedule.
I can't believe what they've worked into the schedule in the last
I know.
few weeks.
Yeah,
Kelly Park?
Speaking of which, are you gonna bring up this kudos letter?
yes, yeah.
Going forward, though, we should probably work on some kind of better official agreement with NHLRA on taking care of that matter.
I can talk to Rebecca.
Yeah.
But they have been participating in the stakeholders for the shore drive, trying to come up with some solutions there. They
Yeah.
participated in the lake water quality study group. They met Wednesday night and they are hashing out the report. We should have a report from them. It's written and now they're just going back through it. And so we should have a report from the study group in probably more closer to December, but
Yeah.
they're meeting twice this month, so they'll try and finish it if we can, it will be in November.
Yeah.
But they are definitely,
And part of that agreement is that, the town will provide equipment and operators to help.
did we have a written agreement or a verbal agreement?
Yeah, let's get rid of the verbal agreement.
But do you
He's
know,
not
I
answering.
was joking, but do you know if we have a written agreement on file? Did we
I thought
ever?
I thought it was in the original with,
Because the whole sign
Can't think-
issue too,
yeah, I can't think of his name now.
Boyd's.
Oh,
Boyd,
You're
yeah.
talking the sign in Mill Street?
Yeah.
Yeah, Boyd was the one that came up with that whole.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So going on to another thank you for the highway department. Come on, open. I thought it would be, I'm gonna put this in each of the employee files as well. I think it's nice when we get comments, to put them in. So this was actually sent to Victor. It says, "I hope this message finds you well. I want to take a moment to express my sincere gratitude to you and your team for the outstanding job done on replacing the culvert on my driveway. I'm impressed that the work was completed in record time, and I deeply appreciate the prompt and professional response to my request. It's not often a project of this nature is handled so efficiently, and I'm truly impressed by the dedication demonstrated by everyone involved. Please extend my thanks to the entire team for their work. Thanks again for a job well done, and please feel free to share this note with the town boards, as I hope that it will help highlight the terrific job that you and your team are doing for the town." So it was a very nice kudos. So we'll make sure that goes into the employee file. The last thing in there is TAN discussion.
Before we move on to the tan, we didn't announce,
Oh, yeah.
yes.
You want me to do that under
Sure.
the TA report? So, we extended a conditional offer to Victor Greenwood to become the new highway superintendent. He will be effective Monday, Monday. Well, effective Monday, but he has accepted the offer, and we're excited to start the new chapter with the highway department, so.
We will be looking to fill his position as soon as possible.
Oh, yes, I'll be posting the new, the foreman position tomorrow, so. I feel like I'm missing something else. TAN discussion. So we had the discussion earlier with Superintendent Harris, and the tax rate is going to be late. Cash on hand is starting to run low, and we still have to pay. So the good news is we can certainly it sounds like they're certainly willing at the school district to hold their payment or half it. But we cannot, if we don't have a tax rate set by December, we don't have a choice. We have to pay the county bill, which is 1.1 million. And we have to continue to be paying payroll and all of the corresponding things with that. We've started looking into the TAN, and in your folders is the banks we talked to. Lindsay and I are recommending, obviously, Franklin Savings Bank, if you look at the notes there, is the best. We can take out the TAN for up to a year. We only pay interest on what we owe, or what we use, sorry. And the interest rate, even though it's like a 0.1% higher than TD Bank, is still, they anticipate by the time we do this, that interest rate is gonna go down. The only issues that we have is to do a TAN, you have to have the town's attorney write a letter of opinion that says what you're allowed to borrow. We're filling out all of that information right now, which means we have to show expenditures for the year, we have to show revenues for the year, we have to do projections, and we're doing that right now. And we are gonna work with the attorney that we worked with the bond for USDA, so he has all our other information, and it's our town attorney.
Are the application fees similar?
We have the $500 doc fee.
Yeah.
Yep, so we still have to pay for that. The only two issues, I need some type of vote tonight, and we are hoping, I don't have an exact number. I can tell you that right now, if we do the tax rate and we are able to start collecting in December, we think we only need maybe 1.5 to 2 million. If we don't get money in December, we need closer to 3 million. So my thoughts were to ask you to do a not to exceed number that we can at least get the TAN and start going. Because if we wait till next Thursday, they meet on October 16th at the board, and I need to be able to turn this around quickly to get back to Franklin Savings Bank's board by October 16th so that we aren't stuck without
We
funds.
meeting next Thursday?
We do,
So let's move forward with the opinion letter,
okay.
and if
Right.
everyone's in agreement, and for the maximum amount if necessary, and then we can vote on the amount next Thursday.
Next Thursday, okay.
Good.
And
It
you,
doesn't cost you any more to go 3 million versus.
no, actually, TD Bank makes you pay it back in 90 days, and the only problem with that is we don't know that we're gonna have a tax rate in 90 days.
For those that are watching, a lot
Yes.
of this is because we're not gonna be able to set the tax rate, because we're still waiting on the schools.
Yeah,
And we may be waiting as long as November, until we receive the tax rate back on the schools, so we can set the town tax rate.
right.
So,
So we haven't been collecting any taxes since May, June, and normally we start to collect taxes in November at the
Yeah.
latest,
yeah,
but,
we would be, we would be ready to set the rate, but we don't have the information necessary to do so.
yeah.
So,
All right, so we will keep moving forward with that. We will get the town's opinion letter from the town's attorney, and we'll keep working with Franklin Savings Bank then.
Excellent. That's it.
I think so.
No, one more thing.
I can't say that, I can't
No,
definitely
just check.
say no one more thing. So I feel like I'm missing something.
So we do have to go back into non-public.
We do,
But
yes.
first, we're gonna go, select board comments, Don,
Nothing.
Scott.
Planning board met last week. The chair was absent, away on a trip, but, so we tabled a few items, but we did rediscuss the verbiage in what we're thinking for a proposed warrant for
Land use permit. Well,
No,
zoning
it's
compliance.
zoning compliance
Yeah.
certificate and the amount on what requires that. So that 2,000, someone brought up, and they were kind of mimicking what Sunapee did as a percentage, but we felt, we had some discussions and then we changed it back to a flat number for recommendation, but we're discussing it more next week.
Oh.
Um,
Like,
the-
why do I have this check?
The highway department did pave the 2 spots on North Main Street, so that's smoothed out again. And,
Why do I have this check?
that's it.
Just for people to be aware that the marathon is on Saturday, so there will be a lot, this is a record number of runners. We have almost, it's well over 800, so we'll be
That's nice.
at this point,
Wow.
so we had to shut the half marathon off registration because we have so many, so.
Must have heard about the nice shiny new road.
They must have, yeah, it's gonna be much better. So just for people to be aware that there'll be runners on the road.
Possible what delay is and use caution around the lake.
Do you need?
Consent agenda.
Oh, thank you
I
for
haven't seen a
reminding me.
sign up yet either.
I didn't send it around, it's over
See,
here.
so there's signs around the lake, there's like mile markers and stuff. but-
Right, no,
Oh,
I
you
haven't
did the
seen
display.
the scrolling
Nope,
sign.
that's not
I wonder if they
it.
did.
Ours?
Oh, they're already painting on the nice black road before the stripes are even on.
Thank you for remembering that.
They have the mile markers painted on the
Has anyone
road.
seen a scrolling sign
No.
by,
Yeah,
It's
there is,
usually by the.
there is one down at the lights.
There is?
Oh, good, okay.
There
That's
is
where
one
they
out,
usually put-
it's the
they're really good
PD
about
put
it.
one out.
it's,
They did? When did they do that? I don't remember.
There was one at the lights when I
Good.
went somewhere, I went to public safety.
I
building.
pulled in the other day and I didn't even know.
I went home last night.
Yeah,
And
it was
I
there
knew it was
last
there
night
last
by the
night.
Bristol botanist saying.
The botanist.
marathon-
Yeah, by the botanist.
Marathon,
Yeah.
be careful.
I'm so.
I thought it was that out
I
there.
didn't see, I drove by it today, I didn't know.
Les, can I ask, sorry, Mr. Chair, did you determine anything, I know, Mr. Chair. I'm thinking about last night's meeting, excuse me, Mr. Chair. Did you find anything about the chamber building? I haven't called her back yet, I haven't had a chance.
I went down and opened it on Saturday morning and closed it afterwards and Philip bought an open flag for me. So we had put the open flag out, opened it up, everything was fine in there, and then I locked it up and I'll do that. I'll try to do that Saturday morning so that the marathon people can get in there. So yes, I did.
I'll call it and just
I
let
don't-
her know.
yeah, I
We
did-
do have to lock it at night, but we will make
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
We gotta stop calling it the chamber building, we have to think of a new name for it.
Yeah, Real Stream Info Building.
It's
The Mill
actually
Stream
fun.
Shack.
We should name it the Lucy Baker Info Center. Lucy worked there for so many years.
That's an idea.
That works.
She, I was 18 when she trained me when she got done to take it over. So that's why I always wanted to see
Oh,
it.
that's a long time ago.
No, just a couple years ago. I don't know what you're talking about.
That works.
Public comment, Paul, you
Just real quick, I want to share with you that most recently on Tuesday at the weekly senior luncheon, people know I'm involved with the town. They're always asking me what's going on with the now old fire department. And I've told them that I've heard rumors, but there's nothing official and whatever. I just want to remind you guys that when you have something to announce, there's a lot of, you probably know more than you know this more than I do probably, but just to make sure.
I can answer that if you want.
Say officially, it's gotta be
Yeah,
sold.
that's a
So, we have found out that we have to follow a process of going to the planning board, the conservation commission, holding 3 public hearings. So I've been to the Conservation Commission, I've been to the Planning Board, and I have their input. Because of timing, I can't have the public hearings in October because the third meeting won't meet the deadline then. So I have 3 public hearings. One, they'll be advertised this week. The first meeting in November, the second meeting in November, and then the first meeting in December will be where you take your vote. So they're scheduled, they're ready to go. I've done the front steps, and now I just have to, I couldn't do them in October, so.
Do we have time to do this? This looks like the 2 of the,
Yes,
And
please.
That's okay.
I missed tagging it, sorry.
That's
Thank you
okay.
for catching that.
do we have any other word update on the parsonage?
Sort of.
So, that said, I'll accept the motion to go into non-public session. Thank you, Paul, Keith.
Motion
You have to go
going,
home, but you can't stay here.
yeah, motion going to
But I'm going
non-public.
home.
well, you can sit out there and listen to the show.
Night, Paul.
Good night.
Okay, motion to go into non-public under 91A 3, 2, A, B, and C.
Second.
Motion by Don, second by
7:15
Scott, to
PM.
go to into non-public session at 7:15 PM. Roll call vote, all those in favor, Don,
Aye.
Scott,
All right.
Rob, aye, Les.
I'm
We are-
sending this folder back.